what I would say is see your feminine energy as a superpower and be okay being in it. And then also be okay tapping into the masculine energy and just like go back to last week's episode and realize if you got stuck in one of those energies, pick the gas pedal off the floor, unstick it from your Cybertruck and, shift gears a little bit. Welcome to the Be It Till You See It podcast, where we talk about taking messy action, knowing that perfect is boring. I'm Lesley Logan, Pilates instructor and fitness business coach. I've trained thousands of people around the world, and the number one thing I see stopping people from achieving anything is self-doubt. My friends, action brings clarity, and it's the antidote to fear. Each week, my guests will bring bold, executable, intrinsic, and targeted steps that you can use to put yourself first and be it till you see it. It's a practice, not a perfect. Let's get started. Welcome back to the Be It Till You See It interview recap, where my co-host in life, Brad, and I are going to dig into the transformative convo I had with McMonagle in our last episode. If you haven't yet listened to that episode, feel free to go back and listen to that one and then come back and join us. Or you should just listen to this one and then roll it right into the next one. You could add it to your queue. There's different ways to listen to podcasts. So thank you for being here.
Cue it up.
Today is May 16th, 2024, and it is Global Accessibility Awareness Day. So this day is a focus on accessibility, and global accessibility awareness is celebrated every third Thursday in May. This year it takes place on May 16th. People are encouraged to discuss, debate, and educate themselves on access issues on Global Accessibility Awareness Day. I'm just going to add to this. It doesn't have to be digital. Make yourself aware of things that would be inaccessible to a lot of people. We were in Nashville and I noticed there are no sidewalks in most of the neighborhoods. And I'm like, what if someone is in a wheelchair? How are they getting around in this neighborhood? They're not.
Dodging cars.
They're not. You couldn't even walk. And then we were in Mexico and I was like, how is this person on this sidewalk? So just, different things. Also, shout out to Jane Fonda, who was doing activism for blind people. I think it was blind people. Might have been deaf people. No, it was deaf people. She learned sign language so she can accept an award in sign language.
Yes.
So she's freaking awesome. I'm not saying you have to go learn sign language, although that does feel like a really cool skill set to have. But just, make yourself aware of accessibility issues that could be where you are. We can affect places that we are available at and around. It is a key event that spotlights digital accessibility and inclusion for persons with disabilities. It's to raise awareness and inspire action. Increasing the usability and accessibility of digital products like websites, mobile applications, and other online tools is important, as everyone needs to have access to the same information no matter what their disabilities may be. So, if you have a website, you got to do all the things, guys. There's an ADA compliance in the United States. And if you are in a different country, it's probably called something else. So figure out what that is. But yeah, I just think it's really cool to just think about, because we don't think about things that don't affect us. So try it sometime. It makes you feel like you're part of a bigger community.
It's true. Let's get into, here's what's coming up.
What's coming up, babe? You take it.
Okay. Next up is OPC Summer Camp. Y'all, we're really, really fired up about this. June 1 and 2. Join us live for the party. We are going back to camp, and it's going to be the best one because you don't have to get dirty. You don't have to use the buddy system to go to the bathhouse. You don't have to worry about creaky cabins. You don't have to worry about terrible food.
Mosquito bites.
No mosquito bites. No one's going to try to drown you in the lake.
Brad and I are your camp directors.
Yeah, there's nobody accidentally archery practicing, shooting at kids. You're good.
Yeah, we are the camp directors, and you have 14 camp counselors. Well, 13, because I'm one of them.
Because we're going to be on Camp Zoom, y'all.
Yeah, Camp Zoom. And if you are not catching the vibe of what we're throwing down, think wet, hot American summer, y'all. It is, but without the sexual innuendo jokes. Yeah. At any rate, we are having a great time. We have 7 classes and 7 workshops over 2 days. It is done live, but there will be replays in perpetuity for those of you who purchase them. So if you cannot join us live, you are going to miss out on Camp Zoom, but you are still going to be able to be part of summer camp in a way that you never ever could before, because, it's what camps usually got to be there.
And speaking about making it accessible, our whole goal with this was to put you all who are many of you are probably way into Pilates, because obviously that's most of the community that we speak to, but we're putting a bunch of classes and workshops in for people who might not be Pilates diehards, right? But this would be a really appealing topic to them.
Every single class and workshop is meant for whether you're a Pilates lover or a Pilates teacher. So, because everybody is a Pilates practitioner. Yeah. So the topics include pelvic floor, knee pain, hypermobility, breast cancer survivor. We have endurance athlete workouts. We have a happy hip workout I'm super excited about. We have a workshop on modifications for the window chair if you have back issues. We have Rachel Piper's doing a long stretch series. We've got control your balance on the mat. So many. Oh, Tammy is helping us build strength on the reformer.
Love it.
So many amazing.
And we have a happy hour. So if they don't want to do anything else, tell them to come to the happy hour.
So Tower Power Happy Hour with Lisa.
It's still going to be a class.
It's a class. She said She said bring your own bubbles. And so I'm sure she means she's doing sparkling water. But that one you'll actually like feel like you're laughing the whole time. Like Lisa just makes me laugh. So at any rate, come.
Yeah, so go to opc.me/events, opc.me/events.
And you can buy a la carte or you can buy the day pass. The savings is at the day pass, but get it while it's on early bird, guys.
Do it. Yeah. All right, next up, we got Cambodia. We are going back again to Cambodia. We've been talking about it this year for 2024, but guess what? This year is sold out. What? So we decided to add early next year, February 2025. We're going to be going. It's also another amazing time of the year. This is actually the 2 times a year that we historically had gone until COVID really jacked everything up. But we would go in Feb and we would go the end of the year.
Except for the time we did March and it was really hot and it was right before the COVID pandemic. So we were alone in the country. It was amazing.
That's true. Yeah. But go to leslielogan.co/retreats with an S to get on the wait list. We may actually be an early bird right now as you're listening to this. So when you sign up for that wait list, we'll send you an email right away telling you, hey, actually, it's open. Check it out. But leslielogan.co/retreats.
And the OPC summer tour is around the corner.
Not to be confused with summer camp.
No, these are two different things.
This is summer tour.
Summer camp, you join us on Zoom. Summer tour, we're coming to you. And our headlining sponsor is Balanced Body again. So lots of good things are coming from that.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
So you want to go opc.me/tour. So that you can find out what stops we're going to. And I'm just saying, if it's under a 4-hour drive, you should do it. And we've even had people who did 6 hours just to come to class. So
we definitely did. And it was a party.
Pressure.
We had a really good time. And okay, next up, y'all know how much time and energy I have spent trying to write all these damn flashcards for the barrels.
0 from you. But for me, we're at over 400 hours. So you want to go to opc.me/flashcard waitlist. This might be the last chance to get on that waitlist to get the pre-sale price. We
may be in pre-sale for this right now as well.
Yeah, and it's a short window. So opc.me/flashcard waitlist for the barrels flashcards.
If you missed the barrels window, just add yourself to, we still have one more deck coming up next year.
Yeah. So just add yourself to the wait list anyways for that.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you the thing that
next up, we got Elevate. So Lesley is going to be doing Elevate round 5 in 2025, right? So we're going to be figuring all that out and doing enrollment and everything this summer. But if you've ever wanted to know all the things that Lesley has learned from her teacher, Jay, who was a student of Joseph Pilates. This is where Lesley gets to actually pass on all this information. It is a 9-month program. It is incredible. The transformation.
And when you graduate, you still chat with me. I actually chat with a few girls today about some stuff that's going on in there.
It's a thriving alumni community, but the transformation for you as someone who is like already teaching Pilates is you will be connecting the dots on all the pieces of equipment. You'll be understanding the Pilates method at a higher level. You will be confident when you meet a client that you don't have to spend an hour preparing for them before you teach them, right? You'll be able to look at their body and understand this is what they need to get them to the goals that they have, right? And it takes away all the class planning time. It's just been amazing for me to hear all the feedback from everyone who's gone through it. And then really what is another incredible thing is you're building new relationships with amazing women all around the world that are going to last you for a lifetime, right? It has been so fun for us to see people partner up, go through this program together, and then they're besties. It's like, like how often does that happen?
Heather and Christine actually teach each other every single week. They meet every single week.
Still. Yeah. Amazing.
So
go to leslielogan.co/EW. That's for Elevate Waitlist.
We'll be opening up the application this summer for 2025. So, and it's limited. I only take 12 people in a group.
That's right. All right.
All right. Before I go into Mary's amazingness, do we have an audience question?
Yes, we sure do. This is from Prada.
Prada and Pilates,
and
Brad.
Pilates. Oh, Prada and Pilates.
Yeah, you got to get the
I thought
handle.
it was Pilates IG. Yeah, Prada and Pilates from Instagram. When is your next in-person event, dear Lesley?
So it's going to be the summer tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our next in person. And then there's a winter tour. And in between there's a retreat. But if you're not signed up for that, you can't sign up for that. You got to do February. So,
Nice. Yeah.
Well,
Sorry, you missed it.
Missed it.
No. So summer tour is going to be in August. Winter tour is going to be in December. Summer tour, we're coming through the Midwest. Like we said, winter tour, we're probably going to do.
We're doing a lot, everything but the West Coast.
Yeah, we're going all the way up. We may go all the way to Maine, y'all.
Yeah, we're working it
out.
You're asking because I don't do a lot of in-persons anymore. And I just had someone ask me when I'm going to come to Greece and teach. So here's the deal. If you were wanting me to come somewhere to teach and you do not live in the continental United States where I can put it on a tour, I don't know, because I'm not doing a lot of in-person pop-ups all over the place unless I can actually connect a bunch of cities at one time.
Yeah.
To be honest, I love going and teaching around the world. Like I am so blessed and honored that I get to do that. But pre-COVID, every month, every 2 weeks, I was flying to a different country. I literally went to Spain, came home for 5 days, and then went to the UK. That's stupid. It was amazing, but it was crazy. And I'm 41 and I love where I live. And so I want to come see you, but I have to put things together so that Brad and I can make the most of a 12-hour flight, make the most of an 18-hour flight. And so if you're wanting me to come where you are, let me know. And what we'll do is we'll gather up all of you who want me to come to a similar area and we will figure out a way to make a European tour or Canadian tour or Australian tour. It's definitely that I want to do it. I just also want to honor my family and my dogs and my business. It's whenever we leave, the whole business actually stops and our team makes things go, but it's really hard. So
get yourself on a wait list of ours, right?
Well, lastly, I just want to say, it would be weird of me to coach you on being until you see it and having boundaries and taking care of yourself first if I didn't do it first. So this is not,
it's true.
And I don't like you or I don't want to. I absolutely want to. I want to make it work for everybody.
It's not you, it's me.
It really is. And it sounds cliche. Those people, people fuck that up in the dating world. It is okay for it to be you. It is okay for it to be me. And it's okay for us to figure out a way to make it work together. So thank you for this question. I hope to see you on summer tour.
Yeah. Go to opc.me/tour. All right. Now let's talk about Mary McMonagle. Mm-hmm. Mary is a New Jersey-based intuitive healer and feminine energy coach, specializing in guiding high-achieving women from masculine-driven control to a life led with heart and vulnerability. Founder of True Tribe and host of the Living Your True Vibe podcast, Mary empowers women to lead with their feminine energy, ensuring they remain grounded, yet flow effortlessly to achieve their aspirations.
Yeah, I actually going to have an episode on her podcast. It should be coming out at the same time that this one is. So
cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. We had a really great conversation. I really enjoyed the questions she asked. So she's a cool chick and she's done some amazing things and she shares a lot of vulnerability. So I love that. One of the things I like that she said is it's so important to really look at your values and ask yourself, are you being that? And I think a lot of times when we're really frustrated with ourselves, we're outside of our values. We are not in alignment with our values. And that is when things can get a little frustrating. And when we are within our values, when we're aligned with our values, it makes it so much easier to talk ourselves off a cliff. We're like, oh my God, I didn't do the thing over there. It's like, well, if it's not aligned with your values, that's why you didn't do it. So you can actually just live confidently in that. And I think a lot of ways to actually have confidence, just going back to last week's episode for a second, is knowing what your values are. And if you don't know what they are, it's really hard to be in alignment with them. So homework, if you don't know your values, is to do them. And if you came on the business retreat we did this year, you got your values and it was so fun to see those girls get their values. So at any rate, I thoroughly agree with that. So yeah, I thought that was really fun. What about you?
Yeah. Well, before we even go into that, this has been a couple times now we've had this idea of feminine versus masculine energy on the podcast. And
oh yeah, people loved episode 346. Shout out to Cassie.
They did. Well, when I heard this again, I was like, we're going to talk through this again. And I thought it was interesting to hear her talk about the benefits of feminine energy versus just feminine versus masculine. The way that I imagine feminine energy is it's not a good thing. It's not a win. It's not a positive, right? And she kind of broke down the misconceptions, the preconceptions that we have between the two things, and why you would want to incorporate feminine energy in. And not only that bringing feminine energy into your world does not mean that you still can't be a badass. You still can't be a supermom. Still can't be, taking names. It's just a different approach. And I thought it was revealing. I thought it was really helpful for me to kind of understand that a little bit better. So I appreciated that. One of the things that I loved, she said, we figure out what our values are by identifying what we don't want. Like if you feel stuck, when someone's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? You're like, I don't know, but I definitely don't want to be this other thing over here. That's a great place to get started. You might not know what you want, but you probably can say, well, I definitely know what I don't want. And so if you're ever feeling stuck, you can flip it on its head and ask that question of like, what's the opposite here? Maybe I can identify what I don't want, and that can help me slowly piece together this bigger vision for my life.
Yeah, I think we've had that same sentiment come up before on the podcast on different things. That's like, well, who do you want to be? It's like, who don't you want to be? What do you want? Sometimes it's hard for us to envision. Like, I think the other day you mentioned like, what do you want? And you're like, sleep. And it's a little weird that that's the first thing that comes up. It's like, for me, it's a G-Wagon, clearly. But sometimes we don't know what we want. We get so out of alignment that it's going to take us a while. And we have to start with what we don't want to help us envision that. I want to just highlight, I just want to go back to the feminine, masculine energy. I think society will say that being in your feminine is a negative thing. So I just want to clarify that you, Brad, don't think that the feminine energy is a negative thing, but but people will say, oh, because people will think that that's weaker, or like it's wrong to show your feelings.
Yeah, there are negative connotations associated with it. And no, I don't think, that having feminine energy or focusing on feminine energy is bad. And I think
because it's like a superpower to be a vulnerable person who can also receive support, receive love,
Well, also from Kelly Adame, what she was talking about with it is that there are times when men are also employing feminine energy.
Yeah.
Right. And that is also a positive thing.
Well, because we have both energies inside of us.
Yes. We're not one or the other.
Yes. And so.
But again, that's a preconception.
Yeah. And 100%. What I would say is see your feminine energy as a superpower and be okay being in it. And then also be okay tapping into the masculine energy and just like go back to last week's episode and realize if you got stuck in one of those energies, pick the gas pedal off the floor, unstick it from your Cybertruck and, shift gears a little bit. We're allowed to flow between the two in your day. And
well, that takes me right back to the second part of what I wanted to talk about,
Great.
Which is, it is important to if you're feeling stuck identifying what you do want, then maybe you can employ identifying what you don't want, but you don't want to get stuck in what you don't want, right? The idea is that planning, negativity, that whole energy it's easy to tap into that. And then we end up staying in that. So don't do that. Okay.
Don't do that.
This is what I don't want, but it's going to help me identify what I do.
Yeah. I love it. All right. Let's talk about those beit action items because I took over Brad's role. Ha ha ha.
What bold, executable, intrinsic, or targeted action items can we take away from your combo with Mary McMonagle? She said, do something you are avoiding. She talked about how like something that you might be craving, somehow you could also be avoiding that.
Mm-hmm.
Be specific. When I think of something I'm avoiding, it actually causes stress, like in my gut, in my heart, right inside of my chest, actually. And because I know I should be doing the thing, but I just don't want to do it, right? Whatever the thing might be. And that could be, it's probably not like tackling a project in the shed. That doesn't really matter. It doesn't really affect things. But what it could be is, booking a doctor's appointment, because whatever reason, it's just the last thing on my list that never gets done, right? And I'm not craving booking my doctor's appointment, but it is something that I might have been avoiding, right? So the idea is ultimately be specific. You don't want to say, I want to be better at, I guess what you could say is, I want to be better at community, right? So if you want to be better at community, that's not specific enough. You want to say, all right, what are some things that I could do to further that, right? So maybe it's, I'm going to text a person when I think about them. And that could be as simple as that. And it just takes 2 seconds of like, hey, I'm thinking about you. Hope you're well, right? Kind of a thing. But that's being specific. That will help you in your overall journey of, working on community.
Yeah. I think I really enjoyed that. I think that's a really good place to start.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you?
So she brought up the masculine and feminine energy for our beit action item. And she was like, a way to start shifting into your feminine is to examine your masculine first. And we have another mirror, beit, which is really funny that these are two happening 2 weeks in a row. But this one is to examine 3 areas of your life: love, career, and friendships. And start to think about what your
love, career, and friendships.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love, career, and friendships. Start to think about what your beliefs are around feminine energy. 2 is to focus on what will be your values around feminine energy, meaning what the focus on the being. And then 3, let go of the title, mom, business owner, etc., and ask, what is that vibrational frequency? And are you allowing yourself to receive that first? And so there's a lot here to unpack. To me, I think it's going to take some time, but I think if you actually, I'm going to bring in Nora Kaiser as amazing little, are you a star athlete or are you a fan? And so if you look at love and you ask yourself, am I a star athlete or am I a fan? How do you know? A star athlete would actually look at the areas that they did really well and examine how they did that. And then they would look at the areas where they didn't feel they did well. And then they would go and do practice to get stronger at that. A fan is going, oh, they missed that. Super judgmental, super excited about things when they go well. But if they don't go well, they're like, he missed that. And then it's a very judgy. And so just notice where you are judging yourself in the love, career and friendships.
Yeah.
And shift into being that star athlete. And that is going to actually, when you put yourself in that place, yes, it can be more masculine, the way to think about taking action, but the way to actually take the action is to receive feedback and support and be in a more feminine space to actually get into being an observation and not being like super judgy. So that's just a way that I interpreted how to like examine those 3 areas. And then I really loved the part where it's like the vibrational frequency, because when we put titles like mom, entrepreneur, different titles, wife, we actually often put definitions that we didn't actually take the time to create. And we use the title has different definitions that the world has told us what a mom is. I have so many friends who are like,
well, let's break this down. I'm a little stuck on this concept of a vibrational frequency. I ask, what is that vibrational frequency? I don't know what that means.
Yeah. So, okay. The way I understood it, the way I'm taking it is, it's a be it till you see it kind of a thing. How do you want to feel? What is the energy you're going to bring to the title before you put the title in front of it? So if you are a mom, there's all this mom guilt that's going the fuck around. And it's like, as soon as the baby is born, they hand you the baby and a load of mom guilt. And it's kind of crazy to me because like, who is actually doing that? Who is actually putting the guilt on you, right? Those people shouldn't be your friends. But if you were to take mom away and you ask yourself, who do I want to be in this role? And what is that frequency? So going back to Gay Hendricks, because we talked about frequency with him, fear and excitement are on the same frequency. It's just that like you actually are going from worry to joy. So if you actually can think about like some feelings have a lower vibration, right? A lower like negative, like heavy. Some things have a higher vibration.
Sure.
That doesn't mean you need to be on a high vibration all the time. And like high and low don't mean bad or good. But like how do you want to feel? What is the energy you want to bring to the role that you're doing?
Mm-hmm.
And then you can actually put yourself in that position versus if you put the title on it, sometimes we put that title comes with a definition and it comes with expectations that are not the same as what you would bring to that. So that would be the more masculine energy around like trying to be what society tells you a mom is or a business owner is versus like how you want to be at that moment. And then that could allow you to be in a feminine energy around that thing or a masculine, depending on what you want to do. It's complicated.
Well, that was helpful though. I mean, definitely a little more clarity on that.
Just over here trying to define woo-woo words.
Well, I appreciate it.
Everything has a frequency though.
It does.
Yeah. And that's why like also You know,
I mean, that you were talking about it with the dog today when you were out. Like my own response to some people versus others.
Oh,
Didn't
yeah.
even pay them any mind.
Oh, yeah. Like this one woman, like, we're standing in line and there's a woman right behind us and he didn't even like go to her.
Right.
Then another woman got in line and he went right up to her and she was like ready to receive him. Like just, I'm like, how does he know that she's a dog person? Right.
Yep.
So we all are putting these frequencies out. Also, you got to notice like sometimes if I'm in a low vibration, I am aware because you start to respond differently to me.
Sure.
And vice versa. Sometimes I've had to say, you need to leave the room because your energy is changing the vibe.
Yeah, we also associate this with charisma.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
Totally.
I'm Lesley Logan.
And I'm Brad Crowell.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode today. How are you going to use these tips in your life? We want to know. Make sure you tag the Be It Pod. Share this with a friend. That's how the podcast grows, is if you share it with a friend. Yeah. Podcasts need reviews and listeners. That is currency for us.
So dial up your frequency and get it out there.
Yeah. You'll have to step into your masculine to send it out, but then let your friends be in the feminine and receive. Boom.
Love it.
There it is.
Solved the world's problems.
Right there. Have an amazing day. And until next time, be it till you see it.
Bye for now.
That's all I got for this episode of the Be It Till You See It podcast. One thing that would help both myself and future listeners is for you to rate the show and leave a review. And follow or subscribe for free wherever you listen to your podcast. Also, make sure to introduce yourself over at the Be It Pod on Instagram. I would love to know more about you. Share this episode with whoever you think needs to hear it. Help us and others be it till you see it. Have an awesome day. Be It Till You See It is a production of the Bloom Podcast Network. If you want to leave us a message or a question that we might read on another episode, you can text us at +1 310 905 5534 or send a DM on Instagram at BeItPod.
It's written, filmed, and recorded by your host, Lesley Logan, and me, Brad Crowell.
It is transcribed, produced, and edited by the epic team at Diseño.co.
Our theme music is by Ali at Apex Production Music, and our branding by designer and artist Gianfranco Cioffi.
Special thanks to Melissa Solomon for creating our visuals.
Also to Angelina Herrico for adding all of our content to our website. And finally, to Meredith Root for keeping us all on point and on time.